Welcome back again. So let us move on to our next class. Before that, I can tell you, we finished our fossil groups. Okay, pteridospermales, then glossopteridids, chitonales, pendosilales, everything we finished. So now we can move on to our living members. So, okay, so there are some difficulties as we have no way to do practicals. So today I am going to discuss another important family, that is that important order of gymnosperms, and that include only a single genus, that is Ginkgoales, because this specimen is also not available in our laboratory for practicals. So I think this is also very simple to discuss in this online platform. That's why I selected this order for your class today. Okay. So Ginkgoales. So while discussing in the general characters and classification, I have given you an idea regarding Ginkgoales. This is considered as a living fossil. So let us discuss what are the characters of Ginkgoales. Okay. The order Ginkgoales is represented by only a living member, that is Ginkgo biloba. Clear? Ginkgo biloba. So it was however very abundantly represented in the world and having several species, about 16 genera during the Mesozoic age. Okay, that is about 2 million years back. But today what is left only is our Ginkgo biloba. Others are all extinct. So this order is very important, representing only one genus, that is Ginkgo biloba, one living member. Okay, and it is considered as a living fossil. So while taking its occurrence, I already told you this occurred in the Mesozoic age periods, that is in the Triassic and Jurassic periods. Okay, and after that, while reaching into the Cretaceous time, it's completely its development declined or decreased, and left only one species, that is Ginkgo biloba. Okay, so Ginkgo biloba is observed from, and also now it is there in the Alaska, Greenland, Siberia, and also in northern and eastern parts of China. Okay, so in China it is well flourished now, and they are using this plant as ornamental avenue trees, and also for their worship in temples also. And there are mainly, this group includes two families, that is Trichopitaceae, all members fossilized, and Ginkgoaceae, only one living, and other 6 extinct. So the order Ginkgoales include two families, Trichopitaceae and Ginkgoaceae. Trichopitaceae is already an extinct, means all members extinct. The common one, it is Trichopitis. Okay. Then Ginkgoaceae with representing the member Ginkgo biloba, others 6 are extinct. Then let us move on to the general characters of the order Ginkgoales. Okay. So they are all tall trees, a well branched trees. Okay. While looking into that overall shape of the tree, you can say sometimes you will compare it with the coniferails. And there are two types of shoot system, long shoot and a dwarf shoot. Okay. So this is also a comparison with our coniferails. And its wood is pycnoxylic. You know, pycnoxylic wood is a characteristic feature of coniferails. Okay. And leaves are large, look like angiosperm leaves. But the shape of the leaf is fan shaped. Okay. Or strap shaped, and they are deeply divided. So the term Ginkgo biloba, 2 lobes, deeply divided lamina. Okay. And the venation is also dichotomous. So you want a person usually may confuse with the looking into the overall morphology if the plant is an angiosperm plant by just looking into the lamina, its venation, its arrangement and everything. Clear? And next character is, it's an unbranched. The inflorescence is usually unbranched, catkin-like. Catkin is an inflorescence you studied in morphology, and male organs are usually like catkin inflorescence. And this male organ bear microsporangiophores. What is microsporangiophores? These are the stalk-like structures on which microspores arranged. Okay, and they possess about 1 to 12 microsporangia. They are in pendulous manner, in drooping manner, like an inflorescence they are arranged. Okay, and there are moving sperms, that's also important, and having spiral bands of flagella. So in this character you can compare this with our cycadales, moving that is motile sperms. And ovule is also important. Ovule is terminal in position, okay, and on a branch, okay. So that may be an axil of unbranched or branched structures and about 2 to 10 in number. When you just look, you can feel like a fruit, okay, at the terminal position. And seeds are also large sized. They containing fleshy outer layer and also a middle stony layer, okay. So these are the general features. So by looking into the general features of ginkgoales, some very important features like dwarf shoots, long shoots, pycnoxylic wood, motile sperms, catkin-like inflorescence, and also terminal position of the female strobilus, etc. are very important. And the nature of leaves, its morphology, its venation, and also bilobed structures. So these all characters are different from other gymnosperms that we have already discussed. We discussed the fossil members, and you know some of the cycadales, you know some of coniferales, you know ginkgoales. So from that, these plants show actually huge difference. And this is very important, and what is only left is the monotypic, only left is the genus Ginkgo biloba. Okay, so that's all about the general characters. Now let us look into detail. So there are some fossil ginkgoales. I already told you. Trichopitaceae is a fossil ginkgo group. So they existed in the lower Permian period. And one example is Sapotea, the genus from China, and Ginkgodium also. Then by Florin, the scientist Florin discovered Trichopitis from France, the fossil from France. And Mesozoic, the fossils shows the ginkgo leaves. And there are, according to Florin, there are different types of classification. Florin classified into ginkgophytes with 17 genera into two groups, non-petiolate and petiolate. So from this group itself, there are leaves with petiole and leaves without petiole. That's all about the fossil ginkgoales, and the more studies conducted by Florin in this field. Okay. And according to Seward, the all leaves resembling Ginkgo biloba, he referred them into a group known as ginkgoids. So from the fossils, he discovered many groups and many leaves he identified, and he classified them and belongs to into a single genera Ginkgoides. Okay. Then according to him, Trichopitaceae contain only Trichopites. Ginkgoaceae include Ginkgoides and Beria. And Ginkgoides are showing similarities with the ginkgo in the leaf nature with a petiole and semicircular shape, semicircular lamina shape. Okay. Then Brown discovered that many fossil members, and he described based on the leaf shape, that is wedge shape or linear with or without a petiole. Okay. Trichopites is a monotypic species having long shoot and spirally arranged leaves that belongs to Trichopitaceae. Clear? So that's all about the fossil groups and the studies by different scientists. Okay. So now we are moving on to the one and only living genera, that is living fossil, that is Ginkgo biloba. This is there in your syllabus as type. So I already told you this is a monotypic one and growing in the temple gardens of China. Now it is well means flourished in the China. Okay. And Kempfer is a scientist who studied the plants and in Japan, and he proposed the name Ginkgo in first time in 1619, Kempfer. Okay. And Linnaeus added the specific name biloba mainly based on the character of the lamina. Okay. And this plant is also known as maidenhair tree because it shows the similarity with a maidenhair fern you will study in pteridophyte. The name of the fern is adiantum. That's available in our area also. You can see attached on the walls of fences, in muddy walls, etc. You can see a creeping type, a flat shaped leaves with a serration on the lower side. That is maidenhair fern, adiantum, and this is maidenhair tree. Don't confuse with these two, and having similarity with the leaf shapes. Okay. And it is cultivated in Europe, America, and also now available in India as cultivated forms. See, this is the in China you can see the plant like this growing in as an avenue tree in front of buildings, roadside and all. and this is the condition. You can see in the botanical gardens like this, and leaf showing golden yellow color after a particular period of growth, and that increases the beauty of the garden. This is a leaf of this Ginkgo biloba. I already told you the leaf is fan shaped and semicircular leaf with petioles, and dwarf shoots and long shoots are present. This is the plant that this photo is taken by me from Delhi University 3 years back, and this plant is growing there in the Delhi University campus. So like this we can also grow in our area when you get an available the short stock of Ginkgo biloba. Okay. And the name Ginkgo was first proposed by Camphor, I already told you, an European botanist, and the species name adopted by Linnaeus. And this is mainly because of the notched character of the leaf. See, what is the notched character? You can see this structure here, a junction, and that divides the leaf lamina into two. That's why it is notched character. And biloba only because of that, and fan shaped leaves. Okay. See, this is the image. You can see the fan shaped structure. This is the catkin like inflorescence of male strobilus, and this is a stamen like nature. And this is a habit, it is pyramid like, okay, about 10 meter in height, pyramid like, that's why resembles coniferans. And there are, it shows shoot dimorphism. What is shoot dimorphism? I told you there are long shoot and dwarf shoots. Spur shoot in the axil of long shoot that bears the reproductive organs, that is male or female, that available in the dwarf shoots. Okay, that spur shoot is also known as dwarf shoot that produce axillary buds, and that bud bear only reproductive buds. Okay, so in the axil of dwarf shoot you can see only the reproductive organs, and leaves are crowded in the apex of spur shoot. Okay, and there are also scale leaves that protected the apex of the dwarf shoots. Is protected by scale leaves. Okay, so there are foliage leaves as well as scale leaves. There are long shoot as well as dwarf shoot. Dwarf shoot, the reproductive organ only present on the dwarf shoot, or it is otherwise known as spur shoot. Then leaves are very simple. I already told you, long petioles and with a bilobed structure or a wedge-shaped structure. They are deeply lobed with two halves, and margin is entire or it may be wavy and having dichotomous veins. Okay. See, look into this picture, you can see this is the long shoot, clear, and these are the dwarf shoots, clear, and on the dwarf shoots you can see the leaves arranged, and leaves are wedge shaped or fan shaped with deeply lobed, see here lobed, and that divides into two halves, and the venation is dichotomous venation, clear, and petioles present. So this is a simple picture of the Ginkgo biloba. Okay. So, and foliage leaves present on the long shoot also, they are deeply lobed while compared to the foliage leaves on the dwarf shoot. See, foliage leaf on the long shoot is deeply lobed while compared to foliage leaves on the dwarf shoot, that is less deeply lobed. Okay. The leaves may be pale yellow or golden yellow and dark green. Okay. In different colors you can observe. Then root system is long taproot system, extensively branched taproot system. See, this is the long shoot that bear that leaf-like structure. Okay. So I hope up to this we can finish today. So next we can move on to the anatomy and reproductive parts that we can start in the next class. So what we studied today is the characteristic features of the order Ginkgoales, the typical feature of Ginkgoales, and the fossils of Ginkgoales, and the general habit and morphology of the plant Ginkgo biloba. Okay. So I hope you understood well today's class. So study well, prepare notes. So that's all for today. Have a nice day. Thank you.